Week number 2. In a few weeks, we're going to be like, boy, this season went fast. My friend Ramon is here. I'm Holden, Nuke the House. You see the code up here. You see it on the scroll down there. 1 free week, 40% off your first payment. Go to nukethehouse.com/pricing. Enter the code NFL40. So we're going to do some NFL here. And we had a very profitable week 1, especially with live bets. But Ramon, little run in college football, a little slow start in week 1, but the last 2 you have cleaned up. Butter. I guess I called you butter.
Straight butter. I'm still fretting about week 1. I mean, trying to make up for it. But yeah, the 8-1 run right now here on with the gang at Nuke the House, 5-1 here over the weekend. Capped off last night with a win by the Cal Golden Bears. They kind of beat up on Minnesota there in the end. So yeah, having a good time, man, with picks here. And we did have felt like with some nice picks on the show last week too. So see if we could do it again here. And week 2, 9-game window early. Holden, what are we gonna do? I mean, screen, red zone. That's a lot of games, man. I don't know if I like that.
No, I'll just miss one. I'll have a couple TVs on, throw on the 4 box, and we'll go. And then we got 3 really good games in the afternoon. Want to give a shout out to Smoke and Mirrors here. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. But I'm going to let you choose which game you want to start with because, like you said, there's 9 games. We got the primo game in the 4 o'clock slot with the Chiefs and the Eagles. And then you look at the early slate. I think there's a lot of good opportunities for player props. But I wonder what you think about size and total. So which game do you want to talk about first, pal? And then I'll get into the rest of them.
Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure, Holden. I'd probably just go at the top of the board, Patriots and Dolphins. But if I have to look at maybe the best game of the early slate, maybe I'd actually look for the proximity of it, just the Seahawks and Steelers there. Maybe, I don't know.
Let's do that. Seahawks, Steelers. Aaron Rodgers looked like he was competent last week. And for the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, we'll see if he can get it going. I'm interested just from a prop side in the Kenny Walker Charbonnet split in the backfield over there in Seattle. But this thing has moved to 3.5. I saw a couple books at 4, but we're sitting at 3.5, and it went from 3 to 3.5. That's the side with the Steelers, the favorites at home. 40.5 is the total, Ramon.
Yeah, whenever you get these type of situations, when you got the home team, they're coming off of a win, no cover, and you got the road team off of a lose, no cover. It's almost automatic here in a week 2 to kind of gravitate towards taking points in the NFL for getting a hook to me. Look, I mean, like I said, I thought the Steelers with the Rodgers situation is going to be just fine. That is kind of the situation that you want here. But with the Seahawks kind of needing to win here right away, I'm going to be on the Seahawks for sure in this one. I would think this ends up being kind of a defensive game. We talked about, man, the unders come through. Holden, the overs went 3-1 with the primetime games, 1-11 in the 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock window. I don't know if that's a pattern, but I'll probably end up under here. But give me the Seahawks for sure if I'm going to get a hook.
Bears, Lions. So we're expecting a lot out of Jahmyr Gibbs today. The Bears, what a absolute collapse last week. Ben Johnson gets to go back to Detroit now. And we have 6.5 point favorites for the Lions, depending on where you shop. This was bet up. I saw 5.5 earlier in the week. Again, 6.5, depending on where you want to shop. I would try and get that 6 at DraftKings. And then if you want to go the other side with the Bears, 6.5 at Sugar House, MGM, etc. The total is 46, Ramon, and this thing came down about 1.5, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and I'm not sure. I mean, I'm trying to talk about a lot of unders here. It's again in week 2, but I don't know about here. We may actually feels like see some points. I wasn't happy with the Bears kind of laid down there after playing pretty well in the first half of that game to the Vikings. Williams, we loved him for 1 minute, then we were finding excuses and making fun of him the next. But look, in a division game here, Johnson, he should know something about the Lions here, right? a little bit. So yeah, I would have a tendency to want to bounce back here in a division game. If it's 6.5, get that hook with 6.5 points on. Yeah, I'd be moving towards the Bears here. I think they're going to have a lot of 1-1s here possibly after week 2. It feels like here. Not saying that the Bears will win this game, but yeah, I don't think the Lions. I'm not worried about. I'm not using the excuse of the 2 coordinators. I mean, that'll work itself out. I think the Lions know what they're doing, but they only need to get out of there and win this game here right now. I think Caleb Williams will be just fine here as well moving forward. This is a matchup that he's had a little bit of success in individually. Maybe the Bears haven't fared perfectly, but again, 6.5 points here. This is the NFL. Going to be taking some points here with the Bears, whether we like it or not. Going to have to take that in a division game again.
Smash the like button and get a chance. Make sure you're watching on our new YouTube channel, NTH Sports Picks. The old one is going away. We have dedicated programming on the new channel, NTH Sports Picks. Smash the like button and make sure you subscribe as well. So we got a rivalry game. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hosting the Cleveland Browns. This line is now 12.5 to 13.5. So it dipped to 11.5 at MGM briefly, 12.5 there, 13 at Bet Rivers. And then the total 46.5. And that moved way up, man. We saw 45 a week ago and actually 6 days ago. And now we moved up a full point. And I actually saw 44.5 about a week ago. So things are moving up here. Do the Browns score enough to hang with the Ravens?
Well, you'd think they probably will. I mean, I think Flacco could at least produce a little bit of something here, but I'm not willing to actually take him in the game, despite the overtones that I talked about with division games here at this point. I think the Ravens will be stewing here a little bit as well. And look, I think the Browns might be popular with the public right here with the big numbers with Flacco in there. But to me, after say, when you get these teams holding that score 35 points or more and then lose, when they usually come back, they put up a big number. We know the Ravens are capable of that. And I think that's what you're going to end up seeing here today. Now, if they don't get the cover and it ends up being a backdoor for the Browns, I don't think it's going to be, if you know what I mean, like a 24 to 13 or something. It's going to be more like, 38 to 31 or something, but I'd have a feeling it might be more like a 38 to 23 in the end, actually. And I've got the Ravens actually to put the hurt on the Browns here. I think the Browns are still going to be looking for answers at this point, and it's just unfortunate they're running up against a team that probably is going to be stewing after that first game. I think the Ravens in a blowout here. Actually, yeah,
they're angry. They're angry today. I like it. I'm actually looking for Derrick Henry's rush prop is now 100. I think I'm going to go Zay 5 catches because his has now been bumped up to 5.5 at plus money. You can get a 5, but it's going to cost you about 50 cents minus 150. And then Derrick Henry to get 90. So that's something I'm shopping around right now. Plus 160. Guys are talking about it in the chat. And I think I'm going to throw those two together and we'll see what we can get. Okay. That is that for the Cleveland-Baltimore game. The Giants and the Cowboys. Everybody thinks the Cowboys are going to curb stomp the Giants today. I think the Giants can cover the 6, my friend. Cowboys, 5.5, 6-point favorites at home. This thing actually came down from 6. 44.5, 45 is the total in this game. A lot of talk. Pickens against this type of defense could have a big game. CeeDee Lamb should have a big game. I'm interested to see if Javonte Williams can get back in the box. I think he did a couple of times that last Thursday. So Cowboys have had a little extra rest in this game. But again, this number's come down. I'm seeing a 4.5 at DraftKings. Wow, that's some movement, buddy. 4.5. I would not take the Giants at 4.5.
Well, yeah, I'm stuck on the
Sick.
Giants here a little bit. I'm, just when you're out there in the public like we are a little bit, right? I'm kind of touting the Giants here to hang in there, so I'm still going to have
Okay.
to roll with them a little bit here in this one. Look, yeah, the Cowboys going to be looking to kind of square things up there. It feels like a little bit, but for me, the Giants off that ugly game. Look, I'm not. I said last week, I'm not. I don't think this situation is really going to work out for Wilson, and that's proven to be true. He's probably playing for his job here, but I think in a game against Dallas, where look, when they traded Parsons, they kind of mortgaged some things. It feels like a little bit here. And yes, the Giants. This is still the rivalry game. We've seen some high scores in these games, and this is a game where Russ might cook a little bit. I don't think he cooks long term, but he might save his job here for a week or two with a good performance. They may not win the game, but
Mm-hmm.
I expect this one to be a wild one. Actually, we think of the Giants, we think of the NFC East, and rough and tough. Now they kind of get some high scores with these two teams meet, and the defense kind of takes a day off, and that's what we might get. I think here in this one, I think the Giants will have enough offense, and I think we may end up trading scores here a little bit in this
Whoa.
one with the Giants. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it'll be a higher scoring game in these situations. That's usually what you get, despite the perception. I think so. I'm going to take the points. If it's 4.5, I have to go with. So be it. I'm not going to hedge a little bit on the air here for sure. But I think the Giants hang actually here with the Cowboys, and maybe some goofball finish here gets it done for the Cowboys.
Okay. We got that one out of the way. Jacksonville at the Bengals. This might be my favorite game of the week, believe it or not. Now, if they play this game in week 12, maybe I'm not as excited, but Jacksonville offense looks fairly electric, at least after 1 week. And we can always talk about them playing the Panthers. But the Bengals had a really disappointing week 1 offensive effort. I think they bounced back today. This total, though, has gotten out of hand. Now, when I got in, it was 48.5. I'm seeing 49.5 and even a 50 out there. So the total is one thing. The side is another. Bengals minus 3.5. Can we trust the Bengals early in the season to cover a freaking number as a favorite?
Hard enough to win this game. Holden, they were the first team in 15 years to win a week 1 with under 150 yards of total offense, I believe. So that's trouble. And until we see some type of fix here right now, look, we love Joey B. I'm sure that if you don't have the balance here a little bit, this is where the problem lies. And I thought Jacksonville did look terrific last week offensively. So look, Cincinnati, they are dismal in this type of role as a favorite of 7 points or less. They've failed in 9 straight right now, so I'm on the Jaguars for sure here in this one. I think they clicked pretty good there last week, and I think in game 2 here early on, well, maybe the Jaguars will fade in the end, but I'm not trusting the Bengals at all here at this point. I think they're funny. I think they're kind of popular in the public because of Joey B and the crew, but I got Jacksonville here to hang and maybe even pull off this upset.
Okay. Hey, smash the like button, subscribe to our new channel, our new YouTube channel, NTH Sports Picks, like Nuke the House. NTH Sports Picks. That's what we got for you. Rams at the Titans. I must say this. I'm not giving up on the Titans offense and Cam. I'm surprised he didn't run, but that defense for the Broncos last week was next level. Okay. This week he gets the Rams. I'm not saying it's a bad defense. What I'm saying is that it ain't the Broncos. They're at home. There was bananas here at Denver last week. So the Rams being 5.5 point favorites on the road against a Tennessee team that I think defensively might be a little underrated. 5.5 is the line right now. Did we get much movement on this? It seems like it just sat there at 5.5 this week. You may have something different. Low total 40.5 to 41.5 elsewhere.
No, because I think the subtle move maybe to the dog here. Circa opened at 6 and now 5.5, but there was some square books that opened at 5 and it went up to 5.5, and I think it's kind of settled there right now. Look, Stafford is dismal actually, in this role of going on the road as a favorite in his career. Actually, coming off of a win 4-10 against the spread in that role. Yeah, I'm still with Cam Ward at this point. It's going to take some time for sure, especially when you got a crummy team really here right now. But I'm kind of with you. Now, granted, when you're coming off a season like the Titans did, it's kind of hard to drum up, just wait, let's be patient here. But the Rams are just so inconsistent in this role. I mean, they still may be a great team. They might still finish 10-8, 9-8. Quite frankly, and have to squeak into the playoffs because and they don't travel well east. Also, Holden, that's another thing. When the Rams, it's one thing when they're playing the division teams on the road, but when they go, when they travel east, it's a real problem. So I got to think the Titans here are the side here, real threat to win this game. Sprinkle that money line.
Hey, I want to throw a couple news and notes tidbits at you. Quidshawn Judkins. Wow, I'm already having a problem with his name. I wish he'd just sit out. Quidshawn Judkins. So the guy's holding out, then he signs, and they keep him out, and he's back, and he is starting today at running back for the Cleveland Browns. We've got the Niners, Jawan Jennings active, Trent Williams active. So we know all the injuries that they have there. But that's good news for the Niners with all the other disaster that they've got going on right now. Okay, we move on. And we move to our next game, which is, well, we already did Seattle and Pittsburgh. So Buffalo at the Jets. Bills, 5.5-point favorites on the road. Some sharps out there saying, hey, the Jets can cover this number. It was 7.5 last week. 7.5. It's down to 5.5. That is quote unquote sharp money. Whether or not, I mean, they still win, not at 60% rate, so they're going to be wrong a lot too. But you love talking about steam, big time steam here. The total is 47.5. This came up 3 points too from 43.5. I wonder how much Josh Allen's performance against the Ravens moved this number up, or was it more Justin Fields?
Good point. No, and more. How about the running game too? And I think we saw the Bills get gashed. Okay, I know it's Derrick Henry and everything, but the Jets have pretty interesting running game here too, and they're in a great role. I mean, the Jets as home dogs. I mean, we can laugh all we want, but this is kind of where you want them a little bit. Division dog. Triple revenge. Throw in all those key. Tidbits there a little bit. I think the Jets are going to be definitely in a situation where they can win this game against the Bills. Sure, the Bills, I think they moved their division win chances are up to over 80% right now with this whole division kind of collapsing around them, it feels like. But don't worry, folks. The Jets are going to be fine in this game anyway. Long term, I'm not sure I can sell you on them, but in this role off that game for the Bills, it's a little bit tough coming in here for the Bills. They own the series a little bit, but no, for me, when you get these type of situations, a triple revenge factor, division game, getting points, not calling myself sharp, but you look at the line move there for sure as well. So for me, I've got to try the Jets here for sure over the Bills. Watch out. It could come down the wire. They may even have a chance to win. Week 2's overreaction Sunday, Holden, no doubt about it. And I'm feeling like I'm on all those teams that nobody's going to want today.
Hey, we got to go to the Niners Saints. I just told you, Jennings is in, Trent Williams is in, and Spencer Rattler doesn't turn the ball over as much as I really thought he does. Niners 3-point favorites on the road with Mac Jones as their quarterback. Total here is 40.5. So once we learned that Purdy was out, this thing went from 5.5 down to 3 over the course of the week. The total is 40.5. Here's something else where the Niners, you would think their offense isn't going to be as good. CMC should get a ton of work. Jennings being back. Mac Jones will be protected by Trent Williams. 40.5 total. Do we have an upset special here?
I just said that we're going to take a lot of teams that nobody's going to want to take. I don't think this one's already moved too far. It feels like. Hold on, I still want to take the Niners here. For me, the feels like the Niners did their diligence. It's almost like saying this is the anticipated start for Mac Jones a little bit. Really have never seen the right Mac Jones, the Mac Jones we want, the Mac Jones we expected. This is a role like some of these quarterbacks I've talked about. Maybe it works out for Mac Jones in San Francisco long term here, especially with Purdy. I mean, he's on the shelf half the time, anyways. So, no, for me, I think there's just too much talent on the Niners. And I'm one that I like. I'm not saying I like Rattler. I like the receivers, right? I've already explained that. I love Olave, Shaheed, even Devon Valet in there. And with Kamara, I think we saw what we wanted to from the Saints last week. They did a pretty good job, obviously, considering everybody, the world was against them. And I think they can hang here, but at just a field goal now, I have to be back on the 49ers here at this point with the talent across the board taking care of business here against still probably the worst team in the league. I'm looking for spots, and I thought the Saints were the spot last week, but what happened? I thought they were going to be getting a touchdown here, right? Aren't they the worst team? And you tell me that, Purdy being out is going to account for that. Mac Jones can come in and settle this here. It may fall on the number, maybe a 3-point game, but I'm still going to lay it, actually, despite what I just said about all these dogs. Give me the Niners.
We're on CMC, Christian McCaffrey, in a little different way than most of the rest of the field is probably on. If you want our pre-flop picks, get over to nukethehouse.com right now. nukethehouse.com/pricing. Pick a plan. We'll give you a free week and 40% off your first payment with the code NFL40. Right up there, NFL40. Patriots Dolphins is next. A lot of people around the industry calling for a Patriots upset today, saying the Dolphins are in disarray. They were in shambles last week. Let's face it. That's as poor of a game as you could play. Looked like the guys were quitting. They had a players-only meeting. Now, this line opened at 1.5, went down to 0.5, and then back to 1.5. That's over at DraftKings. We got a 2.5 at BetMGM, up from 1. I mean, this was at 1 on 9/11. So movement here toward the Dolphins. Can the Patriots upset the Dolphins today? 42.5, 43.5 total.
I'm going to believe in McDaniel here to at least save his job another week. Again, I might be hanging on too long with this guy because I know that he'll be still a valuable commodity to someone if he gets fired here. But, look at the season series, and this is just not the place for the Patriots since they've gone south, if you will. This has always been a struggle for them. And yes, the Dolphins maybe have been a little bit better, but for me, I'm going to be on this move on the Dolphins. I think that's the tick there, right? I mean, 1.5 up to 2.5 right now. This is a get right spot for the Dolphins. I don't think they're going to get right long term here for sure. And yeah, McDaniel might have trouble keeping his job, but him and his little buddy here, Tua, will be able to navigate this one. Drake May still 3-10 straight up in his career. So now I'm on the Dolphins here. They may even be able to put a little bit of a smackdown on the Patriots, I think, today here. Nothing long term, but I'm taking the Dolphins here in this one over the Patriots, and I'll draw it out while Holden bundles up there.
No, I got my best bet coming up in the next game, so I got to put my jacket on. I put my sexy smoking jacket on, buddy.
I should have known better.
It's coming on, pal. It's coming on. Hey, what are you guys on today? Leave your best bets in the chat. What up, JW? Good to see everybody hanging out with us today, getting you our best bets. I want to also remind you, starting up at 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on the NTH Sports Picks YouTube channel. Keg and the boys taking you through the 1 and 4 o'clock slates. And then tonight, Keg and I, and I'm sure the boys will stop by too, for Sunday Night Football, another Vikings game. Vikings and the Falcons. I have seen better games than that. Okay, I told you that I had my best bet, and we're going to go to the Carolina-Arizona game. If you fade me, maybe you'll make some money today. But here we go. Smoking jacket, pipe in hand. I gave this one out on Nuke the Picks. Nuke the Props, I should say, earlier in the week. I think Trey McBride's going to go apeshit. Trey McBride over 60.5 minus 12. Now, I gave it out at 58.5, but that's fine. He's going through this number, buddy. The Cardinals, this game might be closer. I can't really trust them as a team, but we know how bad the Panthers are. McBride last week, kind of disappointing, 6 for 61. I think he goes bananas. Ramon, right now, the side has gone from 6.5 to 7-point favorites, depending on where you shop. For the Cardinals, the total, I mean, it's all over the place, right? 45.5 down to 44.5, 43.5, now 45.5 again.
Remember this game last year was a track meet,
I
actually.
don't remember this game. I think I wanted to get it out of my mind.
Yeah, well, and funny, because a lot of people say, we don't know how the NFL schedule. You play the last place teams for the last place teams in your conference. That's how it works, and that's why the parity happens too, because you're able to play. Sometimes when you're the surging team, you end up playing last place teams, and if you're a little bit decent, you can get some wins. But it was 30. I don't even remember the exact score. It was 36-30, 36-32, something around there last year, and it's because the Panthers actually can hang. I mean, come on, 7 points with the Cardinals. What are we kidding now? I know everybody's down on Bryce Young, like this is going to be, his last year with playing starting quarterback for the Panthers, but this is the worst roll right now. Some of the worst roll in the NFL. The Cardinals never win 2 in a row, never 1-12 straight up after winning one game. So I've got the Panthers here for sure to hang into this one. They're also pretty good in consecutive road games here because they're usually getting enough points. So I think you called it. Maybe the Cardinals do win, but when you got two shaky teams like this, and I think this game probably ends up north of 50 for sure with these two. It's not about inept offenses necessarily. These two teams actually just don't play great defense, even if the perception is the Panthers are a more defensive unit. So I'm going to grab the 6.5 here, whatever we're looking at right now. I'm checking it out here too as we go. Still 7 for sure, and I got to be on the Panthers here. This one's going to be wild and close. The Cardinals ain't blowing anybody out.
2 more games to get to, Ramon. The Broncos Colts. DK used to give us the best teaser odds at -120. Now they're -135. It absolutely sucks. This would be the best teaser game of the week. -2.5 for the Broncos. That means you're getting +2.5 for the Colts. You can get 8.5. But we also see a 1 at Caesars. Broncos -1, a 1 offshore. So if you're backing the Colts, go to the big books. If you're not backing the Colts and you're backing the Broncos here, Caesars -1, Sugar House, Bet Rivers, Canby, whatever you want to call it, -1.5. Daniel Jones does not have the day that he had last week, not against this defense.
No chance does he have a chance against this defense like that. And the Colts defense did a pretty good job here too. I thought, for everything we want to say about Danny Dimes, is really the defense, everything put him in position for that success last week. But Denver, to me, still very, very strong defensively. For me, maybe their offense isn't as what we want it to be quite yet, up and down here. But if I'm only going to lay a point on the road, this is going to be a Denver. I think Denver comes in and wins this game at the Colts here today.
Last but not least, the biggin rematch of the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, who a lot of people have lost belief in. They are dogs at home, between 1 point and 1.5 underdogs at home. You can tell me about the line movement. I've more seen it from basically a pick 'em to 1 to 1.5. The total in this game is 47. That is a healthy total. We'll see if the Chiefs can actually get their stuff together offensively. This thing moved from 45 up to 47 this week, Ramon. Any plays in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles here. Mahomes has never lost three in a row, but they might here. Look, I think for the Eagles here right now, and this isn't necessarily a grudge match necessarily with them having won the Super Bowl, but I think it's just a test right now. I'm not giving up on Kansas City, and I don't know if they've relinquished the division yet to your Broncos and my Chargers just yet, but tough game here for them, and I think with this slim price, I will take the Eagles. You remember the Chiefs they were like a hardcore under team still. This number is getting a little bit hot at 47. I don't necessarily want to go hard on the over here. I still think we could see these teams put up some points here. If it was later in the season, I would be under City here, and maybe I should be still after what we saw last week. But I'll just take the Eagles here and hang my hat on that they get it done once again with as good as they are right now. And the Chiefs, they are still trying to plug some situations. It feels like to me we might be in the same situation where we're like, what's wrong with the Chiefs fading a little bit? And they'll probably end up being there in the end or very close to the end. We know with some great teams in the AFC. So I'm going to take the Eagles one more time.
LJ MVP is going with Devontae Smith ladder in that game. One more time, nukethehouse.com/pricing. NFL 40 is the code. 40% off your first payment. We're jacking the prices up at the end of the month, so get in now. Plus, we'll give you one free week. NFL 40 at nukethehouse.com/pricing. I'm going to go check on the wife. I'm going to go watch some games. Ramon, always good to see you, my friend. You do an awesome job, and we're happy to have you on the team.
Thanks a lot, Holden. I'll keep the winners coming in college football next week. Make sure you go to Nuke the House, get subscribed. I'm on a little bit of a roll, 8-1 right now, and no reason why I don't think I'll keep that going when I got so many games to choose from. Probably roll out at least a half a dozen plays next week for you.
It is game time, and we will catch you 1 o'clock coming up right now. Keg, the boys, Nuke the House live show.